Okay.
So we are live. We are live now.
मुझे noise आ रही है कहीं से.
All right, I'm muting myself. See them. Go on.
Okay, cool. So, hello friends. Welcome back to another virtual meetup by ILUGD HHC. Hope you guys doing well at your homes. I'm Shivam. I welcome you all here. Thanks for joining. So we had three awesome talks before by Nikhil on extended reality, by Xeon on Alpine Linux on Android phones, and Getting Up with KeyCat by Ayan. If he was not there, video is available on I Like the YouTube channel. So this is a series of meetup by I Like the NSSC because of the lockdown. So this is the fourth one. Um, also we have awesome calendar set for upcoming weeks. Today we have a quiz and a community check-in. The next quiz will be on 17 and 24. So tomorrow will be a session on Apache Kafka for your event-driven ecosystem by Gabru. And on 12th, we have configuring Emacs from scratch by Rajudev. And on 15th, we have making Arduino boards talk by Manav. So we are using Jitsi. Also, this uh, virtual quiz is hosted on Kahoot. So if you can download the Kahoot on your Android or iOS, or just log into Kahoot by using your browser. Okay, so winner will get this awesome plant. So okay, so the COC is like set your display name under Jitsi to your actual names. Follow COC, be nice to everyone, mute your microphones, and raise hand before speaking if you want to. So, okay, okay. So yeah. Also, we have planning some non-tech session as well on how to make coffee and momos at homes, and how to make your LinkedIn profile attractive. Also planning some Git sessions after this awesome schedule. And if you want to propose any talk, workshop, just open an issue on, you can open an issue on I like the GitHub repo. So today is a general community check-in kind of a small show and tell. You can show your projects and what you guys are working on. And after this, we have a quiz, which is made by Mason and Alok and me. Thank you, Mason. Thank you, Alok. So quiz has basic questions of Linux, Python, and C. So there are 15 questions. So yeah. So how is everyone?
Good.
So if anyone wants to speak, what he is doing, currently doing these days.
Yeah, sure. So maybe I can start with something. So I'm working on something which I want to share, and maybe you folks can also help do that. So I'll share my screen and show what that's about. So there's this idea about using compute power around the world from people and do some distributed kind of thing. So this is not something new. So this is has been done for past many years. I remember one of the project called SETI. I think it's in University of California somewhere. So it's a search for extraterrestrial. So the aim of the project was to use your computing power when you are not using it to do some astrophysics research and finding aliens kind of thing. So based on the same idea, folks from University of Washington has come up with the same model where they can use your distributed compute power, and using the compute power they'll help to fold some proteins, which is going to help research work in making vaccinations for COVID-19 viruses and similar kind of things. So this is a project which you can use to lend your compute power. So if you are having any server, any computer which you are not using, you can lend your compute power. Even you, the recent so we have some people who made some patches on the top of this project, which allows you to work, which allows you to also rent your, not rent, which allows you to also lend your Raspberry Pi, like single board computer. So you can have a Raspberry Pi 4 or NVIDIA Jetson Nano. So the project is called Boeing, and it's by Rosetta at Home. So the requirement is you should have minimum 2 gigs of RAM. If you have 2 gigs of RAM and you can run Linux, then you are good to go. So it runs on ARM 64, not 32. So if you have Raspberry Pi 4 or NVIDIA Jetson, you can run this, and you can join a team called I forget the name. So it's like Crunch on ARM. Yes. So there's a team called Crunch on ARM, which is uh, providing their single board computer. So if you have any Raspberry Pi 4 like computer, or so Raspberry Pi 4 is a supportive device, NVIDIA Jetson is another supported device. So these are ARM based computer, 64-bit. So these are the link which I'm gonna paste in the chat. So if you have any such computer, you can consider using that for this project, which will help accelerate the research for developing vaccinations against viruses and more biomedical research. So, yep, that what I have been up to this week. And other than that, normal stuff, just making more paracord bracelets. So this is the one I was thinking of.
Awesome.
That's the one I.
That's great actually. So I guess Linus had a video on this, like you can like lend your computer for research purposes, and it's really great for especially people who game that have GPU power to lend. Yeah. So like this is this project actually supports like the normal computer or just ARM CPUs?
So this supports all kind of devices. So the minimum requirement is 2 gigabits. ARM support has been recently added by one of the guy from Noida. So
Oh, that's
his
great.
name is Sahaj, and he works for Lenaro. So he added up some patches with some other people, and that allows your ARM computer. So basically, a lot of people have a Raspberry Pi, and if they're not using it, they're picking dust, right? So you can use that to lend your compute power. So ARM has bbeen recently added, but you also have x86 and other get support there. Also, if you cannot directly help with providing the support by lending the compute power, maybe you can consider contributing to it, or just write some blogs about it, or just tweet about it. So a lot of people would be having single board computer, and if we can get them on board, maybe it will really help the research.
Right, thanks.
Awesome.
Zion
Zion
likes
wants
to speak. Yeah.
So I have a question. So you are saying you it recently have ARM support. What about Android phones? Do it support Android phones also, or like how do you run it? Are there some binaries or something like that? You compile it for your own board. Cause like if it's only for Linux, then can we run it on Termux? Like I have many questions. If that can be done, we can write few blogs about it. Um, so how to run it on Android, because that would be a great help for this.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a nice idea. So I have not explored this project to the very depth. So I just as Alok mentioned, so Linus has this one video. Also, Gary Explains from Android Authority has made one video. So I followed them, and I haven't checked the scripts which is using. So basically, it's gonna play a screensaver on your device, and at the back they are downloading some files and using your cores and RAMs to do some mathematical computation and uploads the data back to the server. So theoretically speaking, it should be possible in Android, maybe via some hacks, but I'm not really sure if that's possible. So one thing I can recommend is going to the Twitter and follow Rosetta at Home project, and those are really friendly people, and I've been in touch with them talking about them. So if you can help in any way, maybe that is the best place to go ahead with that. And yes, definitely, since a lot of people have Android phones, and those phones are quite powerful these days. So even if someone is having two or three phones and one or two are not being used, so that can be lent, but I'm not really sure how is that possible. So Rosetta at Home is your point of contact.
Yeah. Also, so what I think, yeah, can I speak, right? Yeah. So
Go.
yeah. So what I think is like having a Raspberry Pi makes much more sense because yeah, thanks.
Continue. I kicked him out.
Yeah, just kick them out as well. So having a Raspberry Pi makes much more sense because it will run 24/7 as like the ARM CPUs doesn't have much power on them. So like if it's an Android phone, it must be like a secondary phone to use that can run all the time. But if it's a primary phone, I don't think it will do much good if you like run it in intervals, right? Because ARM CPUs are already like much more less powerful than your like your computers.
Yeah,
Um,
Raspberry Pi like computer makes more sense. So you can just plug it to the Ethernet and let it be there without doing that. Of course, phones, if that is a primary phone, that doesn't make any sense. But if you have spare phones, maybe that would make sense doing that.
I have one more question.
Yeah, I think Raju wants to speak first.
Yeah, so we have many of us have might be having phones with 2 GB or more RAM lying around, and some of these phones or most of these phones can run Linux. Maybe not the way that Xeon intends to, but there are various projects which actually allows you to put Debian or Ubuntu or similar distros directly on your phone. It creates a CH root within the storage. Maybe even if not on Termux, but on the Linux, which is installed separately in a CH root, it should be possible. So we should explore that possibility of running it on a phone. We could have maybe a rack of
Is this
phones
P
doing
root?
it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Raju,
one thing I
Termux is P root. It's similar to CH root only.
right. One thing is also there. I think it's only for 64-bit OSs. So on Raspberry Pi, the default Raspbian is not supported because Raspberry Pi architecture is 64-bit, but the OS is 32-bit. But you can install Ubuntu server. About using Debian-like OSs on phone, I think we need to make sure that OSs are compiled with 64-bit toolchain and 2 gigs of RAM is available, and theoretically, then it should be possible.
I have
Actually,
one
need
more
to try
question.
because many of us have phones with 4 GB RAM or 6 GB of RAM. Some of us could be having those phones lying around as well. We can't be sure until we test.
Right. So the best thing about it is like the Rosetta at Home allows you to create your teams, and you can use its API to track how many devices are able to go there. So I just gonna show about the ARM single board scenario here. So let me just quickly pull out one of the thread. So Sahej is one of the person who helps porting this to ARM64. So yes, so recent number is 428 ARM64 based machines are being available to be used for this computation distributed computing thing, and so this is like a credit score with how many computations are successfully completed. It provides a credit. So 2698529.6 has been there. So that is a really good thing. So yes, this is. I'll just copy and paste the Twitter handle of Rosetta, and however you would like to explore, you can go, and anyway we can help. You can just let us know.
If Zion has any more questions, he could ask, or I would like to go and show something or something else.
I would just want to remind Ayan that I have few other questions, but they might go off topic. So it would be better if I discuss that after the call only.
Sure, whatever seems fine to you.
So should I go next?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So similar to I have a Raspberry Pi lying around, and unfortunately it's not the 4 one. I have a Raspberry Pi 2B, and I was planning to have an internal home cloud for a long time, but due to time restrictions or maybe being lazy at times, I didn't manage to do that. But now I have a home cloud running on my Raspberry Pi, and it's been over 2 weeks now. It's running very well inside my home, and since I don't go out, it's like my phone always gets backed up to my Raspberry Pi, so it runs really well.
Oh, that's great. So, can you tell us the specifications of it? So, when you said that it gets back up to your Raspberry Pi, I mean you have connected a hard drive to it, right? So,
Yeah, so right now it has a 32 GB memory card, and I also had two hard disks lying around. The smaller one, I emptied one of the hard disks, moved its content to my laptop and to the other hard disk. I would be attaching it on my Raspberry Pi. I have not done yet. For that, also to do that, I have got a powered USB hub. I purchased it before the lockdown, fortunately. So I would be doing that within upcoming few days. Maybe next time we do a show and tell, I would show you the setup with the hard disk attached. At this moment, 32 GB out of the 32 GB, around 20 GB or more, I think 27 GB is available for storage, and it's enough for my phone. I'm not using clicking many photos these days, so all my contacts and stuff easily gets backed up to it. Even if I capture videos with 2 GB of in 4Ks, they also get backed up to the Raspberry Pi, and it's working great. I also tried making it available on the internet and using it from anywhere else, but the ISPs have these natting, and I'm not being able to reach to my Raspberry Pi from outside. Even though I have a domain and everything, DNS and everything set up, but I've not been able to reach my Raspberry Pi from outside. So that has been an issue. Maybe we could have any solutions or discuss this issue later on how we could actually get through.
yeah.
I have a suggestion. You can use ngrok for that. Have you tried it? Was I audible?
Yes.
So
So
NG-ROP IP changes as soon as the service expires, right?
Yeah.
um, there
From
are
that,
other solution also like Page Kite, very similar to ngrok, and it's free for like 30 days. So you can like have a temporary one for like 30 days. Then after 30 days, you can change one.
So for the, I'm not sure what ngrok does, but I am guessing that it's similar to having a public IP which is accessible from around. And if your ISP changes your IP, the domain or the temporary domain matches to the changed IP with the script running on your Raspberry Pi. Is that what ngrok does? Because I have implemented something similar. I have a temporary domain which points to my public IP all the time. Even if my IP changes, I have the domain pointing to my current public IP.
yeah,
So that is working for me right now. But getting to the Raspberry Pi means I have to do port forwards on my router, and for that I need to get to my router, which is I'm not being able to
So
to restrict on ISP end.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like I think there are multiple ways you can access your Raspberry Pi remotely over internet. NG-ROC is one, but that is like for very temporary testing kind of solution because it's not safe and there are some limitations. Other than that, port forward in Indian is everybody knows. But there is one service which I've used in the past called Dataplicity. So it's like a small service which they will install on the Raspberry Pi, and they will do a reverse SSH on their server, and from you can access their server, and from their server you can log into your Raspberry Pi. So I pasted the link in the chat. Maybe you can give it a try.
Yeah, I have opened the website. I would take a look at it afterwards.
actually, yeah, this is a very common problem. So even if you can port forward from your router, you can't port forward from your ISP's router. So if ISP using a double NAT connection, which they usually do in India or Delhi, so you just can't port forward. So to enable the ISP to port forward, you have to like call them and say that I need a static IP, and in that static IP, I need all the ports open.
That's
Yeah. Apart from that, like people can set up their
I
own.
would just show my people could probably see my screen now.
yeah.
This is the project I'm using. It's called Nextcloud Pi. And this is my local instance. It runs on my router. You can also see it is secured. Like it's my browser is saying it's not secure because it uses a self-generated certificate using OpenSSL. So you can see my files are being synced and it's fine. So it works really nice. Give this project a try if you have any single board computer. Even the older Raspberry Pis would work fine. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing your project. So, who wanna share your projects? Yeah, Manav, go ahead.
So this is not exactly a project, but I would like to recommend this book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I finished reading it this week due to quarantine, and this is an amazing sci-fi story which makes a lot of sense and has very deep meanings embedded into it.
Thanks for sharing. For people who would not have the time to read the book could also watch the movie based on the book. That movie is also very nice.
But the IMDb rating for the movie was like, I remember it was like 5 or 6 something. So I completely overlooked the fact that I should watch the movie.
Also, as we are talking, I guess people can join in on Kahoot. That will be a time saver. I will share my screen. You can go to kahoot.it or the Kahoot app and maybe join the Kahoot thing.
Uh,
This is the
Manav,
pen.
what was the name of the book again?
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
It's the same book that Philomath wanted.
I really don't know. I just got it off the internet.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
So I was actually thinking of doing this that every week on the call, maybe we can do one book recommendation, one podcast recommendation, one video
That would be
recommendation.
amazing.
Yeah. So if you want to like recommend a book or a podcast or a video or a blog, maybe let's do one thing. Like so, everyone can recommend one thing which they have seen good this week, and then we can document it with the links, and then we can float it in the Telegram group. So, Manav, if you can open a notepad and write your book with the link there, I think that would be a good start.
How much time do we have till the quiz starts?
About around 20 more minutes.
Yeah, that's great. So I just wanted to discuss, since we are talking about books, like I really want to like start reading books, but I don't have any physical books. So first thing is like how do I get physical books, like the actual hard copy of the books? And if not physical books, how do you recommend me reading books? Because I can't stick my eyes to the screen all the time, and I like the reviews on the Kindles are like quite mixed. Some people like it a lot, some people don't like it. Yeah, so just some recommendations about this on reading books.
Yeah, Manav wants to speak.
So the thing is, I really liked reading books. My parents actually got me a Kindle when I was in class 8 because like buying a new book each time I found it interesting was very, very expensive, and like I felt that investing in a Kindle is a very great idea if you like reading books.
That's great. And how about if I want to like get physical copies of book like that, which
In
are not
Amazon or Flipkart maybe.
Support your
I
local.
do have a couple of stores in Rohini I know who can actually lend you books for half the price, and I think you can get half the price back. I used to do this earlier.
Support your local bookstore if possible.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. So I'll just go out on a walk after all this is over and just
So
read.
Sonik would like to speak and Rajudev would like to speak.
Okay.
What's the store in Rohini which like refunds 50% of the book after that?
Yeah, that is in Avantika. It's called Rohini Book Depot.
One is Rohini Book Depot and another one is Chand Book Depot, if I recall correctly.
I really don't know about the other store, but Avantika is like full of these stores. You can get almost any book there. And if you call them a week before, they can actually order any book for you and they'll still give you half the price.
Oh, all right.
All right. So one more thing, Ayan. I just searched that is there any limit for Jitsi YouTube live stream or not? And there is a limit of 1 hour, and we have streamed for 25 minutes right now. So we have around 35 minutes left.
I
Rajudev
guess
wants to speak.
we'll create a new stream for quiz.
Yeah,
That's okay.
yeah, that's Rajudev wants to speak.
So around the books part, there are various bookstores around you. Preferably, if you can go to your local bookstore, it's the best thing. There are few nice bookstores in Khan Market, and I'm not sure if there is this old books market in Daryaganj around Lal Killa. I'm not sure if it is still active or not. I read news reports that it is probably closed. It is a morning market which is only on Sundays or Saturdays or something like that. So that's a very good market where there you actually get a lot of books. Some of them author signed for really cheap.
That's great. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Another just one simple question, like to everyone who has a Kindle, right? So when I read books which include study material, like when I'm like not reading storybooks and all that, so study material. So I like to highlight points in everything, right? So does it sync over devices?
Yeah, so Kindle has almost all of those features. Like, so what you're talking about, I almost do this every day because my teacher sends me an assignment. It's mostly in PDF format. So Kindle has a feature in which all I have to do is forward the assignment to an email ID and it will automatically get downloaded into my Kindle. So that's a great feature, and I always use the PDFs so I can highlight stuff, I can add notes, and all of that gets synced in all of my devices which have the Kindle app. So you should
That,
have the Kindle app.
yeah, that's great. So is this for only the PDFs they provide? So or the personal PDFs as well?
No, Kindle allows you to put anything. Like it can be a PDF, it can be a document file, and this is in beta right now. But this functionality is very good. That even if I send a .doc file to Amazon, Amazon's email server to send to my Kindle, and if I write convert in the subject, they'll all automatically convert it to PDF.
That's great.
Gunwan,
Adding to Alok's question about what do you do with your Kindle and all, have you tried booting Linux on your Kindle?
No, because currently I like my Kindle. When I'll get bored of it, I'll root it or something. I have read stuff wherein people do that. I have read a guide to actually boot Arch Linux on this, and I will definitely try it, but maybe not right now.
okay, Gunwan wants to recommend something, or maybe you can unmute your mic and tell about it.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Am I pronouncing your name right? Gunwan, that is.
Yes. It's good one. Yes, I would like to recommend the Landuk show. It is a great show for great podcast actually for Linux stuff and this FOSS contributions and stuff. So there's that recommendation. And going back, if I could talk about that, the thing which we started a talk on. I'm actually working on a project in which we are trying to boot. We are trying to use the Android phones like the ARM64 boards, and we are trying to boot Android in a container. So we first boot like a distro like Gentoo, I am using Gentoo right now. So we boot Gentoo in the Android in the phone, and then we fire up a container, LXC container. So we boot an Android distro, and we boot Android in the container. So that was all. That was all I wanted. I wanted to share.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if you have any write up about it, maybe blog or something, you can put it in the group. And
Yes.
yeah.
I shared a link. It's called Sharkbait. I shared a link earlier in the chat. You could check it out.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Hmm.
Okay, so anyone wants to show anything, give some recommendation? Sonic would like to speak. Yeah.
I have a question actually. So, does anyone know about any software or app which would convert something I scanned from Cam Scanner, some document which was initially typed out, but then I scanned it from Cam Scanner, and something that would convert it to just words, like a document format, maybe?
You're asking for OCR. Maybe search for Tesseract.
Spell that for me.
Um, the 4D cube, fourth dimension cube, Tesseract.
Tesseract from Avengers,
Oh, Tesseract. Yeah, Rahul.
but it's not very good. I would recommend you to use that paid Google Cloud service. They have like more better model of Tesseract only.
Something free.
I use
So
Microsoft Lens for OCR because hate Microsoft, but the product is actually very good.
All right. So the text you are passing to the OCR, is that handwritten or like a computer generated thing?
Typed out. So basically, like,
Typed out, then you can use normal OCR. Even Google Lens will work.
okay.
contrary to all the solutions that have already been mentioned, I use something which is free, and it's like it works very well. There is only Office. I can't show you how it works on my screen because that is deployed on my Office server internally. But you could probably try the desktop editors. It has a OCR plugin. Within the OCR, you just select OCR, you give it the PDF file or image that you have. You just apply to images, and it will give all the text contained in that PDF file directly in your document, all the words. It works really well. Whenever I have tried it, it works really well. So I would just paste the links for it in the chat window. You could try that out.
Okay.
Awesome. So we still have some time before we start the quiz. So if you have any questions, any recommendations, any projects you want to share, anything.
Also, one more thing I just wanted to say that I like this book is about another book called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I will try and build that electronic device maybe in the next week. Maybe I can bring it next time to show it to everyone. If
Okay.
I can get my hands on an Arduino Nano.
Okay. All right. So if no one has anything to say, I just want to do a quick activity. So I'll take like 5-10 minutes. I want to do this activity. So there is something which I wanted to share for quite some time, and this is on the based of interaction with the mostly university students attending our meetups, and also some folks who are new to the whole open source and free software community thing. So I'll share my screen, and maybe Mason, you can just hold on screen sharing for some time. And the activity is about documenting different ways, different ways of contributing to free and open source softwares and hardwares and whatever. So the idea is I'm gonna make a quick list about this, and then we have a small FAQ kind of documentation, not exactly FAQ, or getting started kind of documentation on our GitHub repos. And next time we have such kind of questions, we can just pass that to whoever asking. So I'm gonna do it in this way. I'm just gonna write a lot of points which I have over the period of me being part of a community. I've learned that different ways of contributing. But the floor is open, and I would like everyone to add to these points, or like so. These are all what I'm having is what I've learned over the period. So maybe I missed something, maybe I'm wrong somewhere. So please feel free to interrupt and talk about it. So it's going to take about 5-10 minutes. So you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
So there has been this thing that contributing to open source means directly contributing to the code, being a programmer, opening PRs and gatekeeping. So that is not entirely true. That is only a small part of contributing to open source. There are 1,000 different ways you can contribute to open source. By just staying in the community and giving some time, that also count as contributing to open source. If you talk about what's my definition is. So yes, obviously the first way of contributing is directly contributing in the code base, which you can do by finding bugs, uh, finding bugs, maybe opening some PRs, and maybe I just doing some code check-ins. So that is a direct way of contributing to open source. But again, that is not the only way to do that. In my opinion, there are some other ways as well. One thing which I can think of is being uh, porting. So porting is another thing which you can help by contributing to open source. So for example, a piece of code or something is written for x86, so then you can help the software or the project to move to ARM. That also is a good support you can help for any open source project or vice versa. So porting is another thing which you can help with in open source contributions. And I think there are a lot of different projects, especially the good project, which like to maintain some good documentation. So if you would like to contribute in documentation side, you are more than welcome. And every good project comes with a good documentation, but again, it's being written by humans, so there are chances of typos, there are chances of misinformation, there are chances of less information. So that is always a good scope to contribute to open source. Other than that, a lot of big projects nowadays are focusing on maintaining a good automated infrastructure. So that is also one more area where you can contribute. So this include having a continuous integration pipeline, which often breaks. So you can help with that. Continuous delivery and deployment, where it releases the software into the open source, which you can also help with. And there is also packaging of the software for different architecture, different distributions, which you can definitely help with. So that is another way of contributing to open source. One thing I can also think about is testing. So if a small open source project is started by someone in their bedroom, they might not have access to all the platforms they want to run their code on. For example, if I'm starting an open source project, I started with on Ubuntu, but you can help with the testing on Arch Linux, testing on different distributions. So that is another way of doing that. And in this, you can have unit tests if you know how to write code. You can have regression tests, or you can test it like on every releases or maybe every pull request merge. So that are different ways of contributing to testing department in open source. One good way of someone coming from a design background is contributing to the design. So that has been like a lot these days. So like designing a logo around a new project, like contributing a wallpaper if you are a graphic designer or if you are a photographer, to a distro. So I think a lot of distro releases are now having this wallpaper competition, where you can provide some good photos or some artwork which you have made. So that is, I think, in my opinion, another thing where you can contribute to. One more area where you can contribute to is evangelism. So I don't, I'm not, I don't, I think it's one of the things which can be a really easy and with very less curve to get into. So what I mean by evangelism is by writing blog about a technology you are using, making a project about something which you're using. Like if Arduino is open source, but you cannot contribute to Arduino hardware design and software design, but then you can use Arduino to make a project, you can write a blog about it. That is also a very good way of helping the community, which is the actual goal of contributing to open source. You can also give a talk in meetup groups or conferences, like that kind of things. I think one other way is having events. So if you can organize some events, if you can go to some event, that is also one thing you can help with the growth of FOSS movement. If you cannot participate directly for some reason, maybe you can consider doing donations. Like, for example, Wikipedia has been hit a few days back, and they were running lack of funds. So by donating them, you can help keep going the project. So these are small areas which I find like I would like to share where you can contribute to open source. I think that is what I have in my mind. So if you have any questions, if you want to add something, if you want to remove something, now is the time. So anyone would like to talk about their experiences with anything I've mentioned, or would like to add anything, or would like to say about what their experience with different projects. So every project I think have a contribution guideline on their GitHub or any source control thing. So Raju, how was your experience contributing to different projects over the years?
My experience has been really good. I would just like to add to what you have already said. So since we all are, most of us are from tech background, we are aware of most of these terms. And but we often forget that people who are not from tech background can contribute to these projects equally or in a lot of important ways. So some of the ways that I want to add to the screen is handling legal issues with the project. So you could probably look at projects like so there are various firms which consist of lawyers who handle the legal part for most of these software projects. So you can maybe take a look at SPI. They are maybe I just need to cut this out. Yeah, so there is SPI. The SPI project, it handles all the funds and stuff. So for projects like Debian or Fedora or maybe they don't have their own they don't handle funds on their own. So a lot of different companies or organizations handle funds for them. So, or let's say GNOME. So they have this. So every time I go live, I am not being able to find the correct website. So maybe I'll put the link. So there is SPI, there is SFLC, both New York and IN. There is Software Freedom Law Conservancy. So there are different organizations in which lawyers could also participate. Also, now one of the things that you also missed probably is translation.
Yeah, that's a huge.
It's so a lot of very good projects are yet to be properly translated. Although most of us people speak English, which is fine, but when you want to enhance the reach of a particular software to the very end of a user, like someone from a remote village speaking some language. So a lot of projects that you could translate on. So you could maybe check out Transifex. It lists a lot of projects, open source projects for you, which you could do translation, as simple as doing translations in Hindi or maybe, so translations in Hindi or translations in Bengali or any other language you can. That would be very good. And there is also something called as Weblate. Yeah, so you could take a look at that. Any other thing which I could add to yours? Code-based porting, documentation, testing. I guess we have covered most of the stuff now.
Yeah, so the idea is like we can put it on a GitHub README, and like as we learn more going ahead, we can add more. And this could be a good documentation for someone just getting started in open source playground.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for that. Yeah, translation is really going good these days, and a lot of projects have been going to translate it to different languages which are not even Unicode. So that's a good thing.
People have often seen my phones and laptops. I usually try to use local languages or even on my phones and stuff. That could feel weird, but you could actually get used to using your languages on your desktop or laptops. Maybe
That's
give
right.
it a try sometime. It's a very
That's
nice experience using GNOME desktop in Hindi or whatever your local language is.
Yep. Yeah, so 5 minutes more before we start the quiz. Anyone wants to add anything? Anyone wants to share their experiences with contributing, with uh, being part of a community?
Till then, please join the Kahoot thing.
So I think Ruchika and Akansha as like they are part of some good projects, and I think they both started contributing this year. So would you like to share your experiences? Would really like to know. Okay, I think no one. So let's start the quiz then. Mason, over to you.
Okay, so I will share my screen now. I hope everyone can see this.
Yep.
So here are the rules. Please play with either your username or on Telegram or Twitter or with your real name. Any user with any inappropriate name will be kicked out of the room. And there are a total of 15 questions with at least 30-second time limit. You can join us on YouTube also.
Hide the chat because we can't see it.
My screen is not visible, or is my screen not visible, or there is something there is something other
I can
problem?
see your screen.
Raju, I guess Raju internet is slow.
Yeah, I think we are good to go. He just
See your screen, Mason. Carry on.
All right, so there are a total of 15 questions with at least 30-second time limit. You can also join us on YouTube, but I will suggest that please stay here as there will be some lag in YouTube streaming. So I'm also going to read out all the questions as they appear. So I guess I will wait for another 4-5 minutes so the players can join in, and then I will start. We are 14 over here. Why are there 7 players over there? Please join.
Me and Alok are not allowed to play.
Is there a significant lag on YouTube so everyone can play? Like if you are on question 1 and you move to question 2, would that be a significant lag on YouTube?
Yeah, because we also, because of that problem, we commented in the YouTube live stream that if you are facing some problem with the stream, then please join the Jitsi call. And I guess I will just make another comment asking all of them to join over here only.
All right. Thank you.
So we have Modi ji.
Requesting everyone to use their username or real name, and everyone who's not doing that, Mason, please feel free to kick them out.
Yeah, I will surely kick them out. Also, users over here at Jitsi, like I can see a user with username ASDFGH. I'm not sure if I'm going to kick him or not, kick them or not. Maybe change the username to something else because we might get some spam today.
Modi ji is back.
Who is Modi ji? I am going to kick. Also, who is developer?
So we have 15 questions, right?
Yeah, we have over here Jitsi. I see another user, a new user named Fellow Jitsia. Fellow Jitsia, you can change your name by clicking on your square.
Maybe ask once before starting if everyone is good to go, if anyone wants to wait.
Yeah, sure.
So that was Ishan, I guess. Modiji.
So everyone who is good to go, write Y in chat.
Yep. Rajdev, Iron Power, Sonic, Anmesh, Ishan, Manav, Anmon, ASDFGH. Who is this?
Please give yourself a name, ASDFGH. Maybe change it to your username. If this is your username, then that's fine.
So how many people said the questions? They cannot play, right?
Yeah, me, Mason, and Nalok.
Also, and we need volunteers for next quiz, so announce that as well at the end.
After the quiz, yeah.
मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, आज जो जीता वो अगली बार वॉलंटियर.
Yeah, the pin is 8253651.
Please see.
I just disconnected.
The pin is also in Jitsi chat. If anyone wants to copy from there.
So everyone playing on their desktop or like on phones?
I'm on my phone.
My phone is acting weird. Just give me a sec.
We have a lot of phone user. Raju Dev, being my bro, is using a desktop.
So all the questions will appear on the screen, and you have to
See my screen. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yep.
Yeah, the screen is visible, but don't start. I'm connecting again.
Yeah, Manav, try to rejoin, I guess. Can't hear anything. Wait.
So let's wait one more minute. We will start. Listen.
That's from CVM side, I guess, Ishan. Raju Dev, I guess that's fine. Just play from one device only.
I guess everyone is ready now. So Mason.
Yeah, this one. Zion, can you please turn off your webcam?
Um, it's almost a hour. Maybe we can start a new stream.
Okay, so it's 10:10 right now, and I'm going to start the quiz now. If anyone wants to join in, then please. All right. So,
Same as pointed out by Zion.
sorry.
Mason, what we can do is now if you can stop the stream and I can just record this.
Matlab, we discussed that. I just commented over there at the live stream that people from there can join the Jitsi call as we are suffering lag, and I guess that's fine.
I'm asking
What I
that
suggest, what I
so that
suggested,
I can just upload it later on, so I can record it.
yeah, just record it. Just end the stream on YouTube and record it right now.
Sure, go
You
on.
don't
But
have to stream it, but we should just record it for now.
my
I'm not
OBS
sure
is not working, so
if
Maybe we
I
could
need
have
to
it live.
record it.
It would be fun for anyone if they want to watch. Although the viewers on the stream are very less. Maybe some of us are only viewing it on YouTube. So no one is there actually.
So if someone can just record it, please record it. My OBS is not working.
maybe Alok, can you do this?
I don't have the tools right now, so no OBS, nothing.
I have OBS, but it will take me a minute or two to.
Maybe we can wait a minute or two.
Yeah, we can meet. We can meet for a minute or two. Just install OBS or any other screen recording software.
And to others, thanks for waiting, please.
I guess this is the right time to make another announcement that Ayan was saying that we also have another quiz lined up. So if anyone wants to volunteer and making that quiz, like making the question, writing the question, then please DM Ayan or just say it right over here.
So
Or
I
you
would
can
like
also
to,
use the Telegram group.
along with Jasmeet Singh, who is not here right now, we discussed this over. So I would like to do that, but I would need to contact somebody who can actually validate what questions I make. So I will need
I
another
guess
person.
CVM can do that. If you're willing to make a quiz, then please do.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
willing to do the quiz, but somebody will need to validate.
CVM can validate the questions.
Okay. I'll.
Sure, thanks.
So this week theme is Linux, right?
Nope. Linux, Python, and C.
A majority of the questions are based on Linux only. There are a couple of questions from Python and I guess a couple of questions from C too.
And next week we are doing hardware.
So when we were discussing about the quiz, I proposed a way, like I just said that let's keep this quiz at a easy level, and I have a error. Okay, I just said that this quiz will be easy level quiz, and the next quiz can be an intermediate level quiz, and the other quiz after that, the next quiz can be a hard level quiz.
No, I mean we can have themes like Linux in one quiz, hardware, open source hardware in other themes, and that.
We were not keeping that in mind, like the theme thing. I guess we can make the next quiz a themed one. Let's discuss it after the quiz.
Okay, so there's one problem. If you wait for too long, it just reconnects it. So maybe everyone who has lost the connection just rejoin it, and maybe we can start soon.
Yeah, sure. So everyone can restart or refresh their page. If they are on application, maybe reconnect. Rajudev, what's the status? We have 13 players. Nice.
So I have never used this OBS before to record something. So I'm just you might need to help me out.
I will just guide you through. Open the OBS app.
Yeah. So it's already open. So maybe I'm sharing my screen again. And I won't be able to play on desktop because I would be sharing the screen anyway. Yeah. So,
That's the problem, I guess.
yeah. So I'm joining from my phone as well. So it's open now.
Yeah. Do you want to share this screen only? Na? Matlab you are sharing this screen only. Na? That is showing.
Yeah.
So what you can do is on your bottom right, yeah, there is a start recording button. Before that, maybe right click in the mid. Right click on the preview. Cancel this.
Okay. So this is my screen. I would also need the audio, right?
Yeah. So mute
Audio
your
is done.
dude. Mute your mic. In the bottom mid, you have desktop audio and ALSA. Mute your mic. Mute your microphone. So it will only record the desktop audio and not your microphone. This works too. Right click on the preview section, yeah, and enable preview. Click on the enable preview, the first option. It will save you a lot of RAM. Yeah. Now click on start recording. Okay, so we have 16 players, and maybe Rajudev now turn off your screen sharing. Okay, so we have 16 players over at Kahoot, and I'm going to start it now. Just a minute, I left again. Okay, Shan. Just press Y when you join again.
Yeah, I can see two CLI ninjas.
Sorry? Yeah, I get. That's fine, I guess. I can also see Raju Dev 2 times. One is Raju Dev, one is Raju Dev underscore phone. Bug in the app. Mohit Bansal, I am starting the quiz now. All right.
Let's begin.
Okay, good to go.
So, first question is here. Which of the following is a Linux command? And your options are W, X, T, Y.
I just checked. There's a way too much YouTube latency. It's 20 seconds still remaining.
I do not know what you are saying. Please keep yourself muted. Okay, so 4 out of 10 were correct. Okay, so next question coming up. Good job, Sonic. What is ARM? Basically, the question is what is the full form of ARM? Options are Advanced Reduced Machine, Advanced RISC Machine, Advanced Rear Machine, and Advanced Reduced Instruction Machine. Good job, Insani Manav. Okay, so next question coming up. This is a Boolean expression, not Boolean actually. So what's the answer for that? 1 left shift 3 odd by 0.
Can you repeat?
Please keep yourself muted. Okay, so Animesh leading the scoreboard, and the next question is here. The full form of SE Linux, and your options are SSH enabled Linux, SUSE enterprise Linux, security enhanced Linux, or scripting enabled Linux. You guys are answering at lightning speed. That's good.
Mason, mute your mic after reading the question.
Sure. Okay, so now Animesh is actually leading the scoreboard again. So next question is, which shell operator can be used to place a command to execute in background? And your options are ampersand, double ampersand, or and less than or greater than, whatever it is. Okay, so Animesh is again at the top of scoreboard. And the next question is a true false. Can you create a dictionary with tuples as keys? This is a Python based question. Okay, so the answer was true actually. So Animesh is again at the top of scoreboard. The next question is, which of the following is not a Linux shell? And the options are SSH, ZSH, CSH, and KSH. Okay, so CLI Ninja is taking the lead now. And here's your next question. Which web browser came as the default with Ubuntu 14.04? Options are Ubuntu, Brave, Firefox, and Chrome. Okay, Animesh again taking the lead. And the next question is, which of the following is not a correct SSH syntax? I'm not going to read out the options for it. Okay, so Raju Dev is at second position. Nice. And the next question is a double point question. What is the output of this piece of code? You have 60 seconds for this. 6 out of 11. That's actually really great. And Raju Dev taking the lead now. Sea Lion Ninja is at second position. Animation is at third. The next question is, how do you create a cron tab entry? And your options are cron tab minus E, minus make, minus E, or minus minus create. So, okay, Philomath is at third position. All right, so the next question is, what is the name of the Debian-based Linux distribution that means humanity to others in ancient African language? And your options are Zorin OS, Ubuntu, Manjaro, or Arch. Okay, so the scoreboards remain the same. And the next question is, which function is used to dynamically allocate memory in Linux kernel space? Options are malloc, kmalloc, linux underscore malloc, or gmalloc. All right. So the next question. Before that, Animesh is at third position, Sonic is at fourth, and Philomath is at fifth position. Next question is, which of the following distro is not a Arc-based Linux? Arc Linux-based. Anarchy, Chakra, Elementary, or Manjaro? Oh well, the scoreboard remains the same. And the last question, what is the output of this? Again, a Python based question. Just a single answer. All right, that wraps it up. Animesh is at the third position, and at the second position we have CLI Ninja. First is, come on, Raju Dev. So congratulations, Raju Dev, CLI Ninja, Animesh.
Awesome. That was fun. Yeah, option B and D are same of last one.
They were not. One of
No,
them
they
was
were not. One of them was that square bracket and circle brackets and
Oh,
both
one of
having.
them was tuple, one of them was list.
oh,
Yeah,
that is that.
true.
But it was really fun. Thank you so much, folks, for helping with this. It was really fun. Thanks a lot.
Even I had a lot of fun.
Everyone had fun. Awesome. Yeah, great. It was fun. So, time to wrap up then.
Yep.
A feedback about Kahoot that when I was pressing, maybe some of my answers were not going there because from here it was showing that, but on the screen I was not able to see that I answered it. For the last one, I noticed that.
Oh, that's why you lost.
I don't know, but for the last answer, I noticed that.
I guess we will look for another quiz platform other than Kahoot for the next quiz, the next upcoming quiz.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. That was really fun. Thanks a lot for helping. So next week quiz, Manav and Jasmeet are willing to help with, and Shivam will help verify the questions. So I'll add you, both of you, to the group, to the quiz group, and you can take it forward. So yeah, really fun hanging out with you all. Thanks a lot for being here. This is a weekly check-in. We're gonna have it every week, Friday 9 p.m. That's the plan. Tomorrow we have a talk on Apache Kafka. That's same time 9 p.m. Day after tomorrow we have a talk on Emacs. That is not 9 p.m. That is 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you are sleeping late because of lockdown, maybe consider sleeping early because you don't want to miss that talk. Yep. So I think we can wrap this up. Uh, if anyone wants to say something, now's the time. Otherwise, we can. Yes, since Animana wants to say something.
I wanted to ask that are we still sticking with the hardware theme for the quiz?
Maybe we can do mix of that. I'm not really sure. Maybe we can put a poll in the group, and based on that we can take it forward.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then awesome. Thanks a lot for hanging around today, folks, and see you for Apache Talk tomorrow. Good night.